What's up, everybody? Coming at you with the AFC picks for the NFL Divisional round of the playoffs, starting with the Broncos, the number one seed, hosting the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, making out of Jacksonville alive with a win and a last-minute comeback there for Josh Allen and the guys. This line actually opened up at the Broncos -1.5 and has since moved in favor of the Bills. Obviously, the public money starting to believe in Josh Allen, what the Bills are doing. But these two teams, the Bills and the Broncos, are very different. Broncos' main strength, as people know all season long, has been their defense. They've got reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain, the second at cornerback. They've got a resurgence in their pass rush led by guys like Nick Benito and a really solid defensive unit all around. Mention these guys up and down all season long. The deficiency here for the Broncos has been their offense. Bo Nix has done a really good job of maintaining this team when they've gotten ahead and gotten a lead, but there's lacks a big play explosivity factor from this Broncos offense. RJ Harvey, the rookie running back, is starting to get his footing a little bit more as the season goes on, but in the passing game, when your best option is Courtland Sutton, who is a very formidable wide receiver, and a thin wide receiving room after that, the passing game starts to deteriorate a little bit for the Broncos, who have failed to put up 21 points in their last three outings here. For the Bills, one of the best offensive teams in football all season long, number 4 overall in DVOA and number 2 overall in PFF grade. So whatever metric you look at it, this offense is being respected, and that's really based on the backs of Josh Allen, James Cook at running back. Allen doesn't have a ton of big name receivers to get the ball to, but he's making names out of guys like Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman, who have been able to improvise in this offense alongside with him. The weakness for the Bills here being their defense, 20th overall ranked in DVOA, and they are ranked again in the bottom 10 in PFF grade 2. They got some stars and flashes on defense. You saw Trey Wright make some pretty nice plays there against the Jaguars, and what really defines this Bills team is their toughness alongside Josh Allen, who takes more big hits than any quarterback you see lately in the NFL today. But that's really what it's going to have to be in this game. If, where the public money is going for the Bills is going to be correct, it's going to have to be Josh Allen, much like it was that kind of story against the Jaguars in that win. Now, I think the Jaguars and Broncos are pretty fair comps, both really solid defenses, quarterbacks that can carve you up with the great play calling. Sean Payton calling plays there in Denver, no stranger to terrific play calling and great playoff runs. But that being said, you think about the Bills just beating the Jaguars. The Jaguars are a team that beat the Broncos, I think, in Week 15, and were able to take down, again, that Denver team and holding them only to, again, 20 points that game, putting up 34 of their own. So this defense for the Broncos is not infallible, as the Jaguars proved. Playoff football, clamps are always a little bit tighter, and easier adjustments are on the defensive side, so I expect lower outputs for both these teams than that kind of 34-20, 34 output from the Jaguars in that game. But it is to be said that the Bills, especially down the stretch, are able to beat really good football teams. I think the Jaguars fell into that category. I think the Broncos do too. It's hard for me to say. If I didn't see this line movement, I would have been on the Broncos here. I think, again, for the same reason I was against the Bills last week in a basically pick-em game on the road, it's going to have to be all Josh Allen. He certainly seems up for the task. This is a really tough Broncos defense, which has really no weaknesses. Top 5 run defense, top 10 coverage unit, top 10 pass rush. Whatever you want to see out of defense, they have it. Making them one of the most well-rounded defenses in football. It's going to have to be all Josh Allen. I guess I'm not going to be wrong twice in a row making the same mistake. I'm going to bet on Josh Allen here to have probably another fourth quarter, 2-minute drill type performance where he's going to have to put the team in his back and his legs to win this game. I'm going to pick him to do just that. And the main reason is that offensive struggles from the Denver Broncos. If you give Josh Allen enough opportunities, enough possessions, he's going to put up points against you. you haven't been able to say that about the Broncos, who, with their spectacular defense, get plenty of opportunities to score and have been stymied far too often for the amount of opportunities they've had, in my opinion. I think when they go up against a playoff caliber team like the Bills here, whose defense will, again, tighten the screws and play with toughness that you've seen under Sean McDermott's teams throughout the years, it's going to be a tight game. And at the end of the day, I'd rather have Josh Allen than Bo Nix, who has been very serviceable in the fourth quarter and making plays with his legs too. Something scary to watch. But like I said, not going to make the same mistake taking a game against Josh Allen right now where he sees a path to Levi Stadium when he's looking around and he doesn't see the quarterbacks that he's used to seeing in the playoffs. I'm using a lot of narratives here, which I don't like when I'm picking my games, but sometimes when you get a guy like the reigning MVP and Josh Allen to do what he's able to do, it's hard to pick against that in the face of all the stats that you see. And I think all the stats really favor the Broncos as a team as a whole, given their defensive relative strength compared to the Bills. But, it's a quarterback game in the NFL, especially in the playoffs. And you know that you can count on Josh Allen to make big plays this game one way or another, given the opportunity. Bo Nix, while he's done great, especially in the regular season, I can't say the same thing, especially with his supporting cast and a little bit less prowess in the improvisational passing game like Josh Allen. So, again, I'm taking the Bills and Josh Allen here to win this game in a lower scoring one than they used to. I think it's Bills 23, and the Broncos, again, failed to put up 21 points, and Bills win this game 23-20, taking down the number one seed and going to play the winner of this next game, whoever it may be. That next game being the Patriots after a nice win pulling away in the fourth quarter against the Chargers in a low-scoring slog there, 16-3 against the Texans, whose defense more than doubled the output of the Pittsburgh offense, winning that one handily in a lopsided game that really blew open in the second half. I'm really surprised to see this line open up at -3 for the Patriots at home, implying pretty close to a pick-em game here in the playoffs, which I think is just a tremendous amount of respect for the Houston Texans, who have now won 12 straight games, including the playoffs. This defense is one of the scariest that I've seen in probably a decade plus at least, with how they've been playing, able to generate so much pressure from just rushing forward, Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. I've been saying these names all season long. It's finally coming to a culmination where the guys like Kamari Lassiter and Derek Stingley Jr. at cornerback are playing absolute shutdown secondary football. Between those four guys I mentioned, and then you get outside here the linebacker who's also a Pro Bowler, like this defense is best in class in the league. It's just so tough to put up points against them. And Drake May and this Patriots offense, so much power to them and credit that they've been able to spread the ball and diversify the football so well and put up points in the face of tough defenses. But this is going to be unlike something they've seen all season long. You kind of just throw everything out here because, you got Mike Vrabel, who's obviously a playoff vet, but the rest of this Patriots team is pretty young. And even if they've been in the league for a while, like I mentioned, they haven't seen a defense like this Texans team. Hard for me to pick against the Patriots here, given how much of a step up they have on offense than the Texans. But if Houston has proven anything, it's that their defense can put up just as much points as the opposing team's offense, and they're going to go out there and try to prove it every night. This Patriots offensive line is certainly stronger than Pittsburgh's and done a pretty good job of protecting Drake May, who's also a little bit more mobile and agile than Aaron Rodgers is. And he's really going to have to use his legs, much like he did against the Chargers game, to outlast this Texans defense and put up enough points to get over the hump. Key thing for Drake May and the rest of this Patriots team is going to be ball security. That running back group has had its woes in the beginning of the season. I think they've righted the ship with Stevenson and Henderson playing really good football as a 1-2 punch in that backfield in New England. Texans here may, if I had to guess, be without Nico Collins after that nasty-looking concussion that he suffered against the Steelers. That's certainly going to hamper their offense. I could equivocate all day long about this game. It's really an unstoppable offense against an immovable force against this Texans defense. Ultimately, I think I'm going to decide on the Patriots and go with Drake May, who played dang near close to MVP caliber football this season, if not getting that award in a few weeks. If he can commit turnover-free football, I think the Patriots win this game. The Texans will prey on your mistakes, rush 4, and get a ton of pressure, drop back 7, and take away all your options. The Patriots have no shortage of options there, tight end and wide receiver. They can live with you taking away their first, second, and third option. Drake Maye's just going to find the open guy in that meritocratic offense. The defense is going to have to step up too, although the Texans' offense not as prolific as teams they've seen in the past this season. But that defense, really in the secondary, led by Christian Gonzalez, has been really strong in the second half of the season. And I love actually watching Christian Gonzalez play. He's one of the most unsung cornerbacks in football. But quietly, the Patriots amassed the 3rd best coverage unit in football this season. But it's the front seven that's let them down a little bit more, as their defense hasn't trended well, at least in the trenches there. That's going to have to change in this game if they're going to want to get the ball out of the Texans' hands. Luckily, I think the running game and the offensive line is the weakness for that Texans unit, so at least their Patriots defense weakness won't be completely exposed. Excuse me. Again, going back and forth, but between the Texans' poor offensive line, that's bottom half of the league here, kind of neutralizes that weakness in the front seven. Running game hasn't been the forefront for this Texans team all season long, but Woody Marks is starting to pick it up. All that is to say, it's going to be a really close game. I think a low-scoring one, given just the nature of the Texans' ability to control the game, both with their weak offense and tremendous defense. But again, I think the Patriots win this game. I think the Texans +3 is a decent bet here, given I think they could beat anybody alone with their defense. But again, taking the Patriots here to win this in a really tight game, win this one 21-19. Don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel to see the NFL content throughout the rest of the playoffs and offseason, and comment who you're taking. That is the video, guys, alongside the NFC video put together. That's a wrap on the divisional round of the playoffs, and cannot wait to see you guys for the NFC and AFC championships next week.